morning, children. So today we'll continue the electricity chapter, which we have started some 3 sessions back. So before going to the next topic, let me revise a bit what we have done, whatever we have done till date. Let me revise it a bit for 10 minutes or so. Then I'll continue with the next topic. The first and foremost, what we have learned in electricity is electric current. Electric current. So electric current, what is the equation we learned? Electric current, I is equal to the rate of flow of charges. Rate of flow of charges across a point. That is what we learned about electric current. Then we learned about potential difference. What is potential difference? It is the work done in moving a unit positive or unit charge, or moving a charge from one point to the another point in a conductor, or from one end of the conductor to the other end of the conductor. That is given by V is equal to W by Q. That is work done in moving a charge from one end of the conductor to another end of the conductor. This is what we learned about potential difference. So the unit of current, we learned it as ampere. Then we defined what is ampere. Then we learned about the unit of potential difference, that is volt. So these are the two things, basic things which we should learn before going to the third one. Then we learned about Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? Ohm's law is the potential difference is directly proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. So when I remove this proportionality sign, I will get V is equal to I into R, or I will put it as V by I is equal to R, where R is the resistance. So this is what we learned about resistance. And what is the unit of resistance we learned? We learned that the resistance of unit is, the unit of resistance is ohm. Okay. Then we learned, we took these resistances and took particular combinations. Why we need combinations? Either to increase the value of resistance or decrease the value of resistance. We will be using resistances either in series combination or parallel combination. Okay, so we will be taking series combination or parallel combination. So once again I will revise the derivations, both the derivations of series and parallel, so that it will be very easy for you, and that will be once for all be sitting in your mind. So I take the 3 resistances here in series first. So then I connect it to a cell of potential difference V. I name the resistors as R1, R2 and R3. So as I already told you about the direction of current, if you remember, what the direction of current? Always we should take the direction of current in the positive direction of charges. So if the electrons are moving in this direction, then the direction of current will be in this direction. What are electrons? Electrons are negative charges. So it is the electron that moves in a conductor. Therefore, obviously the electron should move in this direction. But by convention, we take the direction of positive charges. Therefore, the direction of current will be in this direction. So let me mark it I here, and the current I will be coming out here. So what is the potential difference of the cell? I told you the potential difference of the cell is V. So when I connect the resistors in series, it means that I am connecting end to end. End to end means every part of the resistors I am treating it as one conductor. Okay, when I treat it as one conductor, it will be having its own potential difference. Therefore, the potential difference between the resistor R1 is V1, and the potential difference across the resistor R2 is V2, and the potential difference across the resistor R3 is V3. But the same current I will pass through all the resistors. This is the characteristic of a series connection. Okay, this is the characteristic of a series connection. So the total potential difference is split into 3 potential difference across the 3 resistors V1, V2 and V3. And kindly note, once again note the direction of current I am using. It is not the direction of electrons I will be using it, but it is the direction of the positive charges that is taken into account here. Okay, so this V or the total potential difference is divided into V1 plus V2 plus V3. But from Ohm's law, what we have from Ohm's law, we got it as V is equal to I into R. Okay, now let me replace this V with IR, or let us assume that RS is the effective resistance. Effective resistance. What is effective resistance here? What is effective resistance? The total resistance of the combination is called as effective resistance. That I have denoted with RS. Okay, then let me replace this V. But what is the current flowing? The current flowing is I here. The current flowing through the resistance is I. Same current amount of current will flow. Therefore, let me replace this V with I into RS. I am taking it as the total combination, total effective resistance. I into RS is equal to. Okay, the same current is flowing through each resistor or not? I current is flowing through R1, I through R2, I through R3. Therefore, let me replace this V1 with I into R1 plus I into R2 plus I into R3. Okay, therefore what I will do here, I will take I common outside here, R1 plus R2 plus R3. So what I have here, I into RS. So what I can do, I can cancel I and I. So what I will be left with, RS is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Therefore, this is the effective resistance for a series combination. Okay, this is the effective resistance for a series combination. Okay. Now, let me go to the next combination, that is parallel combination. So, once again I will divide it because these things, if you just practice once or twice after I teach, it will be once for all. Throughout the year, you may not touch these things once again. Just before the test or exams, you just revise the things, it will sit in your mind and you will easily write in the exam. So, once again, what is the characteristic here? It is end-to-end connection. End-to-end connection means each resistor will be treated as a conductor. Therefore, there will be different potential difference across each resistor in a series combination. Let me go to the next combination, that is parallel combination. Parallel combination. Let me note this as R1, R2 and R3, and this cell is having a potential difference of V. Okay, now the current I will be flowing from the positive side to the negative side. Okay, now first let us learn the characteristics of this parallel combination. This is series, let me note it as this is series and this is parallel. Okay, now this is I and this is I. Here we had different potential difference. While here all the resistors are across the same potential. All the resistors are across the same potential difference. But the I will be varying here. So R1 will be having a current of I1, R2 will be having a current of I2, and R3 will be having a current of I3. Okay, just try to note the difference here. Here, all the resistors are connected across the same potential difference. That we are treating all the resistors as the same conductor. Okay, but what will happen? The current will break down here. The current will break down into I1 through R1, I2 through R2, and I3 through R3. Okay, now once again, if I go to define the things here, okay, what I write here, I write it a bit small so that I can fit everything here. I1 plus I2 plus I3. So what is the thing here? I have divided the current I into I1 plus I2 plus I3, but the total current is once again coming back to the cell completing the circuit. So this I with the same this one, what I can do here, this I can be replaced by V by R. V by R. What I will do? V divided by Rp, where Rp is the effective resistance of the parallel combination. Effective resistance of parallel combination. Okay, so V is equal to Rp. So this I'm substituting this V as I as V by Rp is equal to, now this I will be dividing, I will be putting it as V by R1 plus V by R2 plus V by R3. Now what is the thing, what I have done here? The current I1 is flowing, but it is the same potential difference. As the same thing here, I will take V common outside. V by Rp is equal to V, I am taking common outside, 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R2. V and will cancel, we will left with 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by. So this is the effective resistance. 1 by R1, Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by Rp is the effective resistance of the parallel combination. Okay, parallel combination. So series combination, it is the sum of the resistors. The effective resistance is the sum of the resistors, while parallel combination, it is the sum of the reciprocals of the resistors, or reciprocals of resistances of the resistors. That is 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. So now we have understood about the combination of resistors. Let me take you to a beautiful journey where we will try to understand how the current has made our lives easy, or how this electric current has made our lives easy. Okay, we have different applications in the sense, you have heaters, you have fans, you have mixers, you have motors, you have grinders, you have pumps. All these things, all the devices what I mentioned now are all working with electricity. Now, what is exactly the electric current is doing here? Or how this electric current is making the fan to rotate, or how it is making our heater, or how it is heating water with the help of the heating coil. So all these things we will try to understand. Okay, to understand all those things, let me first mention about the different effects of electric current. Here different effects of electric current means what happens when electric current passes through a conductor. All these things has made our life so easy, as I mentioned in my introduction, that this electricity is can easily be produced. That is the one thing. The second thing, easily be transferred, and third and very most important thing is it is non-polluting. It is, production in some cases is polluting, like thermal energy will be polluting, nuclear energy, a bit of pollution may be there means if it is not tightly sealed, if the reactor is not sealed, then you will have some pollution. But overall, if you see, this is very friendly to the climate, environment. Okay, so to understand the applications of electric current, we need to understand 4 different effects of electric current. The first and foremost, chemical effect. So what is this chemical effect? All through study of electricity, we have been using a word cell. Okay, what is this cell actually? How this cell is seen? When you pass current through an electrolytic solution, this is you have studied in chemistry 9th standard or so. So when you pass current through an electrolytic solution through electrodes, then the electrolytic solution will be broken into ions. The positive ions will be moving towards the cathode and negative ions will be moving towards those, and this is what you have learned in chemistry. So what is happening here? We are storing the energy in the form of chemical energy. Okay, we are converting electrical energy to chemical energy. That effect is called as chemical effect. And even you have seen gold plating, or you are using that gold ornaments, that 1 gram gold or what you call other type of gold ornaments, which are just coated, the gold coated. That is due to this chemical effect of electric current. That coating can be applied due to this chemical effect of electric current. Okay, this is chemical effect. The second one is heating effect. What is this heating effect? The best thing, as you grew up from your childhood, you might have watched these conventional bulbs. I'm not talking about the bulb what we are using now. We are using CFL bulbs now. We are using fluorescent bulb tubes now. We are using CFLs now, that is compact fluorescent lamps. But in our earlier days, when we used to use bulbs, we have a filament in the center of the bulb. So what that filament is exactly doing, what we are doing with that filament, we are passing electric current through that filament. Due to that high resistance, it gets heated up to red hot. And when it gets heated up to red hot, it starts emitting out light. That is how we used to get light from the conventional bulb. That is due to this heating effect of electric current. So what we are understanding here, whenever we pass current through a conductor, the conductor gets warmed up. Even your fan, let me take the example of your fan. After a period of use, like after you are using for an hour or so or 2 hours, if you just touch it, it will be a bit warm. Why? Because the heat has been dissipated through the conductors. That is due to the heating effect of electric current. And your heating of water, heating coil. Okay, heating coil. So you will be having a very lengthy conductor there. When you place that coil in water and pass electric current, the electrical energy will be converted to heat energy due to the dissipation of heat. I'll explain you how we are getting that heat energy later. I'll come to that later in the later session. I'll come to that one. Okay, so what is happening? Well, when we are passing heat energy through a conductor, what will happen? Heat energy will be dissipated and that water will get hot. Water will get hot. This is the heating. This is one of the heating effects of electric current. Okay, like that iron box, I can give you an example. I can give you an example of microwave oven. So like this, we can put number of examples where electricity will be converted to heat energy, which we are calling it as heating effect. The third effect is called as magnetic effect. What is this magnetic effect? Magnetic, whenever you pass electricity through a conductor, then magnetic field will be produced around that conductor. That effect where magnetism is produced around the conductor is called as magnetic effect. And believe me or not, this has changed, this effect has changed our whole world, which we will be studying in our next chapter, magnetic effects. Okay, then coming to the next one, actually these two effects, that is magnetic effect and mechanical effect, are not separable, they are one and the same. Okay, I'll just explain in one or two lines. In next chapter we will discuss about this mechanical effect and magnetic effect extensively, but for the timing just I'll make a mention what is this mechanical effect. Whenever you place a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, try to understand the thing here. Whenever you place a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, then it experiences, that current carrying conductor will experience a force. That effect is called as mechanical effect. Due to these four effects, we have got so many devices which work on electricity and which have made our life easy. Okay, for today or in this chapter, we will be studying extensively about this heating effect. Okay, to study a heating effect, now let me go back to our relation of potential difference. What is the relation we have of potential difference? V is equal to W by T. Okay, this is the expression we have for potential difference. Okay, now what is this W? Work done. Work done in carrying a charge from one end of the conductor to the another end. That is W. Work done. Okay. Now, if I change the relation into, if I cross multiply, what you get? The work done is nothing but the potential difference into the charge. Okay, so QV is the work done in transferring a charge from one end of the conductor to another end. Okay, so QV is this one. What is that? Work done in carrying a charge from one end of the conductor to another end. Okay, so if QV is the work done, if go back to the range standard, how do you define power? The power is rate of doing work. I'll just write it down for your remembering the things. Power is rate of doing work. When I get the word rate, then what I should do? I should divide it by T or not? So what I do here? Power is equal to W is Q by V. Okay. Alright, just for your understanding, what I will do? R power is equal to W by T. So what I will do here? Because W is Q by V, I will write it as QV by T. Okay. So instead of W, what I will write? I will write power. Okay. So power is equal to QV by T. Or can I write it as V into Q by T? P is equal to V into Q by T. Okay. Or can I write it as V into I? So what is this Q by T? Q by T is nothing but I. Because Q by T is equal to I. Therefore, the power of this is the rate at work is done is nothing but P is equal to V. So this is what is the energy dissipated. We are talking about the energy dissipated due to the flow of current in a conductor. Now let me explain you why or how is this energy getting dissipated. So, but before that, please remember this formula: P is equal to V into I. Now, during our discussion of resistance, I told you one thing: how the resistance arises. Okay, so whenever we connect a conductor with a cell, so what will happen? As soon as you close the circuit, what will happen? You have applied potential difference to the conductor. The electrons get energy and accelerate suddenly. When these electrons accelerate suddenly, there will be lot of collisions between the electrons. There will be lot of collisions between the electrons and the positive ions. There will be lot of collisions between the electrons and the impurities of the conductor. So what are the acceleration gained by the electron is lost due to the collision. In other words, the kinetic energy of the electron is lost. So what happens to that kinetic energy? That kinetic energy lost by the electron is dissipated as heat energy to the conductor. Okay, this is how heat energy will be produced. Once again, I repeat here, the kinetic energy lost by the electron due to the collisions of the electrons is dissipated as heat energy in the conductor. So that is given by P is equal to R is equal to V into I. Okay, once again I can change this equation to number of types. Okay, what I can write? P is equal to, instead of I, can I write it as V by R? So V into V by R, that will give us V square by R. So this is one equation we have. P is equal to V square by R. Similarly, P is instead of I, instead of V, what I can write? Instead of V, I can write it as IR into I. So that is nothing but I square R. So how many equations we are getting here? We got P is equal to V into I. We got P is equal to V into I. We got P is equal to V square by R. We got P is equal to I square into R. So many equations here getting, right? At the same time, this is about power. This power, can I change it into this one or QV? So what I can write, power can I write it as QV by T. So similarly once again the equations will try to change. So what QV is nothing but the work done, therefore heat dissipated. The work done is nothing but the heat dissipated is nothing but VI into T. Therefore the heat energy dissipated will be equal to VIT, because what is QV by T? QV is nothing but the work done. This work done, what I have changed? Work done by T I have written, because power is equal to work done by T, or else I can once again write it as QV by T, QV by T. In our terms, in our electrical energy here, therefore we can change the equation to number of times according to our convenience. Okay, this is what is the heat energy dissipated. Heat energy dissipated due to the collisions or due to the resistance of the conductor. Okay, and we have discussed about power here. We have discussed about work done here. We have discussed that is work done is nothing but the, once again nothing but the heat energy dissipated. Remember one thing here, work done is nothing but the energy applied, or energy and work done are interconvertible. They are one and the same actually, but his work done is nothing but the energy. Therefore heat energy dissipated is equal to H is equal to VIT. Similarly we can change all these equations in terms of T also. Okay, so with this I'll conclude this chapter. I need to do some problems. I take a break a bit and I'll do some problems. Okay, thank you.